Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another weekly dose of aviation. This fighter jet retracted its gear while it was still on the ground, taking off, causing it to slide down the runway. The pilot had to eject and land with a parachute. These planes barely missed each other. This guy was flying a paramotor above water when the engine failed, forcing him to land in the water. Luckily, he was rescued within minutes and wasn't injured. This plane was taking off when it overran the runway due to mechanical failure, but luckily no one was injured. These planes being flown into retirement information. This plane taxiing on a flooded taxiway. This guy set the world record for the fastest body-controlled jet suit, flying at 32 miles an hour. This very detailed A350 model. And that's it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Other sources will be linked in the description as usual. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and also feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, links down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another weekly dose of aviation. This is how getting intercepted by an F-16 looks.
You are entering restricted airspace. You are ordered to turn west immediately. If you do not follow these instructions, you may be fired upon.
This plane started tilting forward after landing, causing the nose to hit the ground. This F-22 doing a vertical takeoff.
Oh my god, oh my god.
This plane looks like it disappears when taking off into the fog. This plane's wing hit a truck while taxiing.
Whoa! Did you see that? Yeah, knocked over a container. Knocked over the truck.
This plane picking up water from a river.
That
This airport was struck by lightning. This plane was leaking fuel out of its wing. This airliner crashed after its second flight, but luckily no one was hurt.
Wow.
You see where the pilot is? Oh, it's broken. Oh my god, yeah. Broken. Oh, you see where the pilot is? Broken the pilot. I do.
This is the MV-22 Osprey, which can transform from a helicopter into a plane. This Boeing 777 caught on fire while taking off from Las Vegas, but managed to abort its takeoff in time.
Oh, and there's the other truck.
These fighter jets flew in a Christmas tree formation over Sweden to celebrate Christmas. This plane tore up the runway as it was taking off. This fighter jet pilot doing a triple roll. This plane landed with a snow scare first. This plane drifting on a very icy tarmac. This 33-foot RC plane resembling a Concorde is the most powerful RC plane ever. This helicopter has blades that perfectly sync up with each other. This MD-80 did a power back, which means using reverse thrust to reverse out of a gate. This Boeing 737 took off at the exact same time as another 757 at San Francisco. This A380 engine exploded halfway across the Atlantic, so the plane had to make an emergency landing. This plane took off too late and overran the lake, ending up in the grass.
Holy crap!
These protesters pointing lasers at a police helicopter. This low-flying helicopter flying through a valley in New Mexico. This Cessna crash was captured on video by a passenger. Luckily, no one was hurt and everyone could walk away just fine.
Alright, we're gonna land the field right here.
Please?
Yes.
Here's a demonstration of the Airfish, a plane designed to be a boat and a plane. This helicopter had to rescue a boat that got stuck on land. This plane's landing gear caught on fire. This pilot's harvesting trees with a helicopter. This guy built his own electric plane. This fighter jet pilot was flying between buildings as part of an air show in Australia. This guy almost had a mid-air collision with a Cessna. These F-35s doing a low flyby. This guy got blasted by a jet while sitting behind it on an aircraft carrier. This Royal Air Force plane had its nose gear collapse while landing during an air show.
Touchdown now.
Oh dear. carrying C222. Looks like the fire has gone out.
This guy did a low pass over a beach in a sailplane.
Crazy!
This is how an F-16 with full afterburner looks. The C5 Galaxy wheel caught on fire as the brakes got overheated. This guy flew over the Giza pyramids with his paramotor.
Look at that, how amazing.
This is how you start a Boeing 737 engine manually. This plane got escorted by 2 fighter jets. This helicopter tried to take off but failed. Luckily, no one was hurt and the pilot managed to save it. These planes flying next to each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. If you look to the right side of your aircraft, you will notice Flight 198 challenging us to a race. I've turned the fasten seatbelt sign back on because shit is about to get real.
This plane was just taking off when 3 F-16s rolled up and took off before them.
For those of you on the right side of the aircraft, going to get a real nice view of Flight of 4 of F-16s taking off to the west, and we'll be taking off right after them.
This helicopter refueled mid-air while carrying a Humvee. This ramp agent in San Francisco was having a good time at work.
L'achat d'alcool fait en duty-free avant de le déposer au comptoir de correspondance. Les agents de correspondance sur les lignes internationales sont priés de contacter le personnel aussi. Ladies and gentlemen, we inform all current passengers on international domestic airline that they must clear their baggage and go through police and customs.
This helicopter almost crashed, but the pilot managed to save it in the last second.
I got it on video.
This plane started sliding on ice and almost hit another plane. This is how the emergency slide on an MD-80 looks. This is the view from 70,000 feet in the air, seen from the cockpit of the U-2 spy plane. This F-16 was coming in for a landing just a few feet above the crowd. This F-18 took off almost vertically at the last second, causing sand to fly everywhere. This helicopter was being towed, but the tow got disconnected, so the helicopter started rolling backwards on its own. These firefighters in Australia were picking up water from a swimming pool. This pilot was filming as he flew right above another plane. These two tugs collided with each other. This is how a GoPro mounted on a helicopter looks. This aircraft tug's tire exploded while pushing back an airplane. This plane was leaking fuel right before it was supposed to take off. This guy was supposed to de-ice the plane, but instead started dancing to cheer up the passengers. Guys did a pushback by hand. This paraglider had a close call with a plane almost flying into the winch connected to the paraglider. This plane's landing gear retracted while taking off from a grass field.
Whoa! He lost a lot. He got that. He lost that.
This plane drifted away from its gate due to strong winds and ice on the ground.
Oh shoot.
A truck drove straight into a plane at an airport in Miami. This emergency slide failed to deploy and ended up in a weird position. This plane had a bird strike while taking off. This is how reverse thrust looks on a wet runway. This helicopter cut off its own refueling probe. This is the aftermath of an accident where a plane skidded off the runway due to heavy rain. Fuel truck first struck the wingtip of a plane and then rammed straight into the wing of another plane. These guys were standing in the wrong position when a fighter jet was taking off right next to them. This is how the Coast Guard practiced rescuing someone on a boat.
Now we can see the man's coming out of the helicopter.
This A330 engine got destroyed by a pushback tug. This airport worker was throwing luggage in a garbage truck, and I tried to find the reason why, but I couldn't. This A380 flew in a beautiful formation at the Dubai Air Show back in November. The guys at Miniature Wonderland, the world's largest model airport, made Santa play a Christmas song while taking off from an A380. This F-35 showing off its vertical landing abilities. This guy built an ultralight helicopter that he could fly himself. This Russian fighter jet had to fly very slow to keep information with the helicopters.